Deep breath in and let it out. Okay, hello. It's me again. It's Felice. It is day 22 of my 30 lives in 30 days. Day 22. I'm so proud of myself, and I'm actually honored that I got this download. Those of you that might be watching this for the first time, that you might be coming on live today or on the replay, I had a download, a direction to go live on social media for 30 days in a row, and so today is day 22. Today, I mentioned yesterday I've been processing some bigger things that I'm not really comfortable sharing the details right now because it's not relevant to this. But what is relevant is how I am moving through holding space for my clients, holding space for my students, creating, and also self-care, and also doing the deep work, which is my work for my business. So what did I want to share? So I wrote down a few things to keep me on track so that I can keep this kind of on the more laser side. So, and it's not just me that's going through some things. I've been receiving some messages from people, which, by the way, thank you so much for trusting me. Those of you that have been private messaging me or commenting on the lives, I really appreciate you. I appreciate you taking a moment to tap into your heart and sharing with me how this has been touching you. Because as I said, I went into this with just to follow my intuition, and I didn't really have a very detailed vision on why I was doing this. So I'm just showing an example of what it looks like to receive an intuitive download and trust it without having complete certainty. In certain days, I get really revved up and excited, and other days I'm tired. So today I've cried a couple of times. I've been more sensitive lately, crying at videos or just all different kinds of things, and just crying at different things that I've been thinking about. And I am so grateful to cry. And I don't know if that's going to sound, it might resonate with some of you when you watch this later, or some people might not be able to relate. But I did go through a period of time a long time ago where I was literally unable to cry. I think it lasted like a year, and or close to it. It felt like a year. And so it can be very difficult to have emotions that you feel that they're brewing inside and to not be able to let it out. So it was super nice for me to be able to cry. I've been getting some feedback from some people, as I was saying, and I've been getting feedback from people that are not feeling supported. And so certain things that I have been sharing about techniques that I teach, and also about my personal experience and flow, that they also have not been feeling supported. Hey, Denise. They also are feeling like they are not being supported in their personal lives by, I'm getting feedback a lot about family. And so I was sitting with that about, there's a few things that were coming through about what I can share about that. What can I say that might give you something to think about if you're ever in a place where you don't feel supported. And so I've been sitting with the idea of how we receive what happens in our lives. And I think a lot of times when we get more upset about not feeling supported is because there's this space that we don't feel like we are supporting ourselves, and we might not even be aware of it. And so we reach to the people that we love or care about or we think should be there for us to support us, when actually the real support is when we are self-resourced. Now it's like a double-sided coin, right? Because we do grow from each other, and to have a reflection from people is very helpful. And also some people will have knowledge in places that we are still gaining knowledge, so that is very supportive. And so it just makes me kind of think about, like, what is this where there's so many people that are not feeling supported? I mean, look at how many people have back pain in the world. And back pain, the back is always about being supported, right? And there are different parts of the back. If you look at Louise Hayes's work, she talks about, and also, I forgot her name. There's another author that has some really great information about the spiritual, metaphysical reasons for physical dysfunctions. But lower back, I think, is usually supporting around money. And I think middle back is around the family type of thing. And so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. So with that being said, how can we support ourselves? I mentioned the other day, when I work with my 6-month clients, they receive pre-recorded meditations from me. And some of them are to help support kind of going into these spaces of a new perception. And so one of them is a compassion meditation. And ironically, I was listening, or probably not ironically, right? There are no coincidences. I was listening to a podcast. It was from Create the Love, and he was interviewing Sahara Rose. And I follow both of those people. Create the Love, I forgot his name. That's why I'm saying the name of his podcast. And I know his name. But anyway, I was listening to them. And Sahara Rose, I wrote in my journal, which I have right here, and she said something that was very potent in my opinion. It was an epiphany that she had after doing a medicine journey. And she said, people are not trying to hurt each other. They're all just responding from their wounds. I'll read that again so you can take that in. People are not trying to hurt each other. They are all responding from their wounds. So when we think about what that means, the levity of that, think about how many times, let's just go with the example of yourself. Think about how many times that you said something out of a wound and not out of your wise mind. Or you didn't say something out of a wound and not out of your wise mind. So think about the times you said something, you didn't say something, that you did something, that you didn't say something, that you wished you did or didn't. Because you weren't in your wise mind, but you were in your wounded place, right? So how many times have you said something, you're like, I don't know why I said that out loud. You know, it's typically coming from trauma. So why am I bringing this up today here is in response to the shares that I've been receiving about not getting support by family, right? So I have a couple of things to say about that. So please bear with me as I pause so that I can allow the information to flow inwards. Okay. First of all, our family is our biological family, and our family are also a bunch of souls that came together with you before coming down into this earth, and everybody had an agreement to play a certain role. So I might lose followers from saying this out loud, and that's okay. but we're souls that came in, and we before we came into these bodies, we chose to learn certain lessons and have certain experiences so that we could expand our awarenesses. And so when we think about it that way, you know, you've already, those of you that have been following me know that I did not have a good relationship with my mother when she was alive, although I have a better relationship with her now that she's on the other side. But also from the things that happened, I learned so many things, and also it drove me to want to learn, to expand, to grow, and then also to teach. So a lot of the pain becomes your purpose, right? So the stuff that I've learned about self-love, about self-expression, about listening to your own intuition, about moving through trauma and techniques so that you can come back to your creative self and create a life that you desire, not a life that you were told that you're supposed to have. We're from these experiences. Somebody's commenting, hi Denise. Froze. Oh, are you saying that I froze? It doesn't look like it on my end, but I hope you guys can hear me now. So when we think about it that way, that it's our choices, and when we think about it from the human perspective, that everybody has some sort of trauma. I've talked about that in other videos, big T, little t, and not everybody's doing the somatic work. I know I've had a few of you connect with me privately about asking about the work that I do with somatics, and I'm happy to help you with that. So when we think that when we remember that people are coming from our wounds, it would help us come back to compassion and also separation, but not from a place of anger. It's from a place of, okay, you can't meet me here, so let me redirect to somewhere else, like redirect to source, and also redirect to another person maybe that could hold me in the space where I'm at. I know that I've done that a lot of times, and I also haven't done that a lot of times. So, you know, as a coach, as a mentor, I've held space for people that have cut ties with family. I've held space for people that have repaired relationships with their family, with their friends, with loved ones. And so I've held space for different types of situations. And as somebody who does this work, it is so important for me to keep embodying the work on the next level, on the next level, on the next level. And there have been moments where I have totally failed, right? Where I've totally failed, where my trauma was so big that I was so blind that I couldn't accept that people couldn't meet me where I needed them, where I felt I needed them to be. And this just reminds me of a client conversation I had this week, last week, and yeah, today's only Monday. A client conversation that I had, and it was regarding what we need. Well, it was expressed to me as what we need, what they needed from a family member, and I invited this person. Oh, it froze multiple times. Oh man. That's a bummer. Let me see if I can. We're just going to have to deal with it because I'm on the best connection in the house. I know it was a little cloudy earlier, so maybe it's about to storm. But anyway, okay, so let me come back in. But thank you for letting me know. So back to the client conversation about saying that we needed that this person needed something from a family member. And I've been there too, right? So I've been there where I'm explaining what I need and the person can't give me what I need. And I'm just like blown away that, oh, thank you. I'm blown away. Like, I'm asking you to just can you do this to hold space for me? And the person's just like, can't meet me there. And then it creates conflict and a lot of pain on both sides. And as I'm in a different place now, in a different space, I look back so now I could share with my clients how they can differently approach it, right? So when we feel like we need as opposed to desire, there's a different energy. and that maybe I'll do in a different video, the energetics of words and language. That every word that we use, it's a spell. We're spell casting, right? The word spelling comes from the same root, spell casting. So as we I forgot again. As we have these expectations of people, it can really be difficult for the other person if they're just not in the same energetics as you. So you might even think that you're explaining it really clearly and you're saying, I need this and I'm asking for your support in this way, and they can't meet you there. Not everybody's going to be where you are, and that doesn't actually make them wrong. And also sometimes the thing that you're asking for is the thing that they can't even give to themselves. And so when you ask for that and they can't give it, it can be triggering for them. So you might be doing this work and you're growing and you're blossoming and you're trying to bring people with you, and they can't meet you there because they can't do it for themselves. And so that could be really painful for them to even witness, and there could be a lot of pushback. And when you're in it, and if you don't have that knowledge, it can be like a whole swirly thing of energy. But when you realize that people are moving from their wounds, and you can step back and you learn better ways to self-resource, you can come back to your self-resourcing. And also at the same time, we want to build relationships and connections with people that are doing this same kind of work, so that you, when you do want to banter off with somebody that is doing the same kind of work as you, that you have that in your back pocket. And that might take some time. And that's why I love leading my group program. So we still haven't set a date, but we're looking at last quarter of the year. So, and that's where that kind of stuff can happen. So, and looking back at those times when I have personally failed at doing that, right? Yes, I'm a mentor. Yes, I'm a coach. Yes, I've studied this and I've been trained. And also, I haven't always been perfect. And yeah, unfortunately, I feel bad about that. And I'm also human, and only thing I could do is move forward and, look, I've been around. I've been noticing as I do these lives. I mean, I love myself, and I can see, where I've held tension in my jaw. It's like creating this thing here. And so, yeah, I've been through some stuff, and I haven't moved through everything quickly. But eventually my eyes open, I hear something, I experience something, and eventually I come back to myself. And the time from here to here, meaning where I am to where I want to be, gets shorter and shorter. So anytime I move further away, the time to come back has been much quicker. And of course, there have been seasons of time where I can bounce back really quickly, and seasons of time where it's a lot slower, when we're receiving more light, when we're receiving more downloads, or we're in an initiation, which I've talked about in some of the previous videos. We're already on day 22. So when we're in initiation, that means, like, if you ever heard of, like, it comes in threes, right? So, or when you're just having this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, and you feel like, oh my God, like, what is going on? Those things are typically an initiation. You could check out the other video for that. It's 1 or 2 days ago from here. But those things happen so that we can rise up, so that we can expand, not so that we can stop. And I know that there are some days where we feel like I can't do this anymore, but you can. If you just can hold on, if you can just surrender. Sometimes it means just stopping and resting. Maybe it means just being under a weighted blanket or laying on the grass and looking at the sky and not coming up with a solution. Sometimes the message is wait. I know today I was having a really productive day, and then I was having some stuff come through my body that I was moving somatically through and energetically through, and then I paused to get some guidance through my cards, and I was guided to go outside and connect with the divinity of nature. And within 20 minutes, everything was balanced once again. So it was really sweet, and it's really beautiful when you follow the guidance that you receive, whether it's from the cards, whether it's something that you just get a knowing or you hear internally, however you receive your messages. The quicker we listen, the quicker we get to shift. So it's really beautiful. So my invitation today, those of you that are signing on, hi, thank you for being here. And what I'm about to wrap up, but what we were talking about is the feedback that I've been receiving about people not feeling supported by people that they love. And my invitation is to think about, who is our family, right? You have the biological family and the family you choose. And also reparation can happen, and sometimes it doesn't happen. And so therefore if we wait and hold on for things to change around us from them, you're robbing yourself of I'll be happy when, and you rob yourself of happiness. And doing that on repeat can actually eventually affect your physical self. And I've been guilty of that, which is why I study this and I tackle it so big, right? And so the invitation today is to come back to yourself, look in the mirror. I mean, really look in the mirror. I don't mean just brushing your teeth, looking in the mirror. I mean, look into your eyes and tell yourself, I'm here for you, regardless of what season we're in, right? Be there for yourself. Celebrate those wins, like really celebrate them. And also the challenging times, can you really look at yourself and be like, I'm here for you. I love you. I see you. Keep going. Take another step. And and just noticing that the people that you might be having these expectations of, that you feel like you're not getting supported, see where you can take an action, a thought, a movement that supports you. Maybe it's laying on the floor and stretching. Maybe it's talking to yourself in the mirror. Maybe it's giving yourself the self-hug. In almost all of my classes, I have people hug themselves and inspired by Louise Hay, say, I love you. I really, really love you. And love yourself, and really let your cells hear that. Your cells are listening. And look what happens when we're on repeat. I can see times where I have been in a loop of stress, not knowing what to do, and really deep-seated fear is when I see things happen in my body, whether my body starts to hold on weight for safety, or I start getting more gray hairs in a short amount of time. What else has happened? I've seen myself just look more tired, right? So the body's listening to all this repeat. And of course, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to shift, depending on how deep it is and how quickly you can get to the root of it. So I say, just allow yourself to be, and if you're not feeling supported, where can you just take a step and hug yourself, love yourself, and even if that means like telling yourself, I'm here for you, even if you don't know what the next step is, then just pause. Just pause. Allow yourself to be here. We have the new moon this week, and I'll still be within my 30 days of lives, 30 days. So the new moon, drop me a note, drop me a private message, or you can comment on the video here, and maybe I'll do a little mini ritual for the new moon, right? The new moons are about creation. It's about manifestation. Literally, it's about planting seeds. So if you're looking to shift something, we can shift. We can. And just keep coming back again. If you look at any successful person that's a speaker online, anyone, including Oprah, including J-Lo, including, who else have I heard say it? I can't think right now, but every person that you see that has achieved a level of success, they always say, just keep coming back, don't ever give up. And I know at times it feels like when you see the evidence in your life that you feel like of course sometimes we get to pivot, but don't give up. So, and if you're not feeling supported, feel free to reach out. I'll cheer you on, send me a private message. I will be offering sessions. I haven't posted it yet, but I don't typically do single sessions because the work that I do is cumulative, and it takes some time to build up the trust and to go deep. Especially my specialty is I go deep with people and I go in pretty quickly. But for the people that I work with, it takes them time to kind of tap in and open and get used to the energy of the work. And I am able to go in pretty deep pretty quick. And so I decided that for the month of July, for people that haven't worked with me before, I'm going to be offering some single sessions. So if you want a little taste of what it would be like to come in with a couple of one or two things that you'd like to break down, work through, and come up with a way to release it somatically and have some journaling practices, I will be offering that this month, just a few spaces. So I will post about that in a separate post, but keep a lookout. It should go out tomorrow, I think. So, but yeah, we have that going on. So if you're looking to go deeper, or you have something personal that you'd like to move through and see how you can, or maybe find meaning in it, I'll channel a message for you and we'll come up with a little plan and we'll move somatically and we'll start to get this energy going. Well, thank you for listening tonight and witnessing me. This is me going through an interesting transition while other things that are new are coming in, and it's been really interesting. But look, you can see that I'm here and I'm showing up. Hey Gracie, I'm showing up even while I'm holding space for myself and holding space for my clients and students. And so you can do it too. So feel free to go back and listen to the video, what I just shared, and feel free to send me any comments, private messages, or comment on the video. This was day 22 of 30, so that means I have 8 more days. So feel free to make your requests. Otherwise, I will be just channeling what comes through and sharing as personally as I can. And I'll see you tomorrow. Grateful for all of you. Namaste.